Well, folks, as they say, you unfortunately cannot win them all. Welcome to New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And our beloved New Jersey Devils return to the Rock tonight, looking to follow up on an absolutely beautiful smashing of the Buffalo Sabres, hosting the Philadelphia Flyers at the Rock, looking to get some revenge for the smackdown we took in Philly last week, looking to make it 4 in a row. And unfortunately, the New Jersey Devils, it was too little, too late, and the boys fall by a score of 5-3. This one was painful. I was at the game. Shout out to my buddy Brian for the invite. Had a great time, ate a lot of food, and saw what almost was a miraculous comeback. But again, unfortunately, a little too late for the surge. Win or lose, we booze. Tonight was the regular Surfside lemonade and vodka. And unfortunately, this is a loser beverage, my friends. Can't have victory drinks every night. Tonight, we drink loser beverages. Cheers to all of you. And wow, this one sucked on many levels, in my opinion. But we go to the goals. Hockey fights cancer night. I'll get to all that in a second. It didn't take long. I believe it was the fourth shot on goal for the Philadelphia Flyers. Tippett gets in tight and finishes on the backhand, beats Morkey. They have the 1-0 lead. And then later on in the period, what do you know? The Devils looked absolutely dead early. Completely flat, could not generate chances, looked completely disjointed. They just looked horrible early on, to be quite honest. I think at one point, I forget, they had a few shots like midway through the period. It was pretty tragic early on. But what do you know? The man of the month of November, Shimon Nemitz, rips one into the back of the net, his 6th of the season, from Jesper Bratt and nicohischier, ties it up at 1, and that's how the first period ended. And I was like, okay, we looked dead. Nemo gets us on the board. Maybe that'll kind of churn something up, and this group will show some life. And then we get to the second period, and that was pretty much, the beginning of the end. Michkov gets one 53 seconds into the period. Flyers up 2-1. Then Konecny gets one a couple minutes later, 3-1 Philly. And at that point, I'm like, this is, deja vu all over again, as Yogi Berra would say. And then Zegras adds one later in the period at 13:03, 4-1. And at that point, I already accepted defeat. I'm now thinking, like, what is my fat ass going to eat after the second period to console me? And obviously, the answer is always ice cream. I was dreaming of the ice cream sundae I was going to eat to make me feel slightly better about the grotesque performance I was witnessing. But the never say die New Jersey Devils, late in the period on the power play, Timomeier once again strikes his 9th of the season. Timo haters, take a seat, my friends. I'll deal with you later. But Timo's 9th from Dawson Mercer and Jesper Bratt cuts it to 4-2. And that's how the period ended. Now, all of a sudden, there's life. I'm like, okay, we're down by 2 going into the third. We've been here before. Let's see if they can make a push. And in the third period, at 6:28, what I am calling it's definitely in the conversation, in my opinion, for New Jersey Devils goal of the season thus far. An absolutely unbelievable single-man effort by Dawson Mercer to just throw on the moves nonstop, just deking guys out of their skates, holding on to the puck. And he actually doesn't get everything he wants on the shot. He kind of fans on it somewhat. But because of all the crazy moves he did before, goalie completely out of position, everyone kind of floundering around, and he gets the shot off good enough to hit the back of the net. Mercer's 10th of the season at 6:28 cuts it to 4-3, and now the Rock comes to life. The Rock has a little bounce again. We're like, all right, here we go again. The comeback kids on a roll, looking to tie this thing up. Unfortunately, the whole situation late in the third, Luke gets high sticked, and Sheldon Keefe was pretty pissed about it after the game. But Luke gets high sticked. I guess Keefe's explanation after the game was that the linesman saw it, but the ref didn't, and they cannot review it unless there's blood. So if he had been bleeding, then they were able to review it to see if it was a 2-minute or a 4-minute variety. Because there was no blood, this is the explanation Keefe got, and then he gave the media. They could not review it. So the ref did not see it, and he said they cannot just make up a high sticking, despite, I believe he said Luke had a fat lip or something. Does not go called. The arena goes crazy. After the little meeting of the minds, it is determined that there is no penalty call on the play. The Rock just lets the refs hear it. And then the Devils got what probably was the makeup call, about a minute later or so. Devils go on the power play. Unfortunately, the power play looked very sloppy, something we've grown accustomed to seeing with this group. Unfortunately, in the absence of Jack Hughes, it's just not the same, obviously. Whenever you have a power play guy like Jack Hughes, you're certainly going to miss him. And we're missing him 5-on-5 as well, but definitely on the power play. But we get the makeup call, do nothing on the power play. Late in the game, looking to pull Markey. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, they couldn't get him out until there was like a minute left. I thought they should have pulled him earlier. The Devils kind of had possession in the O-zone. Not like full possession, but they were kind of buzzing around a little bit. I thought they could have pulled him with like 2 minutes left, but either way, they decide to hold off. They get him out with like a minute and maybe a minute and some small change left. And then, Tippett starts motoring up the ice with the empty net, and Grits kind of throws a little bump on him, and that's a wrap. Because it's pretty much a presumed breakaway with the empty net, automatic goal, and lights out. Lights out. Awarded the empty net to Tippett, 5-3 Philly. That is how the game would end. Hockey fights cancer night at the Rock ruined, but special night. I've talked about this in the past. Everyone knows someone either, battling cancer or has, succumbed to cancer in some way. Hockey fights cancer, great cause. I highly recommend donating to them if you can. Link in description to donate to Hockey Fights Cancer. I lost my grandmother to cancer about 18, I don't know. It's been like 20 years, 21 years ago. Wow, it's crazy. But, I have my little sign. I fight for grandma. Love you, Gram. And yeah, Hockey Fights Cancer, great cause. And tonight was the Devils Hockey Fight Cancer night. I have my jersey on here, and you probably saw a bunch of stuff on TV and whatever. But, donate in the link. But what a stinker of a game, man. I really wanted to make it 4 in a row. But like I said, shout out to my buddy Brian. We had a great time making jokes and making fun of people and everything and hoping to see a comeback. But no, it was not in the cards. Pretty shitty one overall. It sucked. On to the next one. I hope they play better. It was just not their night. They started off too slow. I do think Markey was a little shaky. He did make some big saves late. I'm not going to be the finger pointer and do all of that stuff. I'm all over the place. I'm still out of breath from running to my car from the arena because I got to get that jump to get to the car before the surge. Shout out to everybody I met tonight. Met a bunch of people, talked to a bunch of people. Who did I see? I met Mr. Snowford. Shout out to Mr. Snowford and his family. Very nice guy. Talked to him for a little bit. I saw James and Nicole. Shout out to you guys. Who am I forgetting? Sherry and Drew, awesome people. Nice meeting you guys as well. Hope everybody enjoyed their time in the lounge. I did think the food was a little bit off tonight. They weren't on their A game, but it's still a good time in the lounge nonetheless. But yeah, this one sucks, guys. On to the next one. The offense just took way too long to show up. Not the best game for Luke and Nemo defensively, obviously. And I said this. Look, they're both going to be studs in this league. Luke is 22. Nemo's 21. You're going to get some nights where you're like, holy there were some brutal chances against. And this is part of the growing pains, my friends. And this is also why I told everyone emphatically this summer that everyone was like, we don't need Dougie. We have Luke and Nemo. Yeah, Dougie, get him out of here. $9 million. And the reality is Dougie is a veteran, guys. A calm, cool, collected veteran. We'll see what happens with him, but he's just it's a different beast. I love Dougie, and I was glad to see him out there on the late power play, but we just couldn't get it together. I get to the game stats. I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry, folks. I'm a little disheveled here. I'm still out of breath. Flyers 31 shots on goal. Devils with 32. Flyers 46.2% in the faceoff circle. Devils 53.8%. Flyers power play goes 0 for 2. Devils go 1 for 4 on the power play. 20 hits for the Flyers and 20 for the Devils. Block shots is a depressing margin here. My God, 23 block shots for the Flyers and 7 for the Devils. That's uncharacteristically low. They usually have way more. Flyers, 12 giveaways. Devils with 16 giveaways. Flyers, 5 takeaways. And the Devils with 3 takeaways. And we get to some player stats. Is there anything even worth talking about here? I mean, I guess I have to. My man Timo with a goal, 5 shots and 6 hits. Timo the Bullmeyer. If you're still talking smack about Nemo, you already know what time it is. Deposit your apologies in the comments and or the chat. We will not accept the Timo slander around these parts any longer. The aggression will not stand. Paul Cotter with 3 hits. Oh, and he fanned on a glorious one. I felt so bad for him. He was kind of wide open in the slot, and he fanned on like a one-timer. He wanted it bad, and I watched him come back to the bench. He was furious. I thought he was going to snap his stick over his leg. The Bratter compiling some more apples here. 2 assists for Bratter. Grits with 2 shots and 3 hits. Grits I thought looked really good tonight. Always hustling. This kid busts his ass. Never gives up on a play. He wins battles on the wall. Wins one-on-one battles. He is deceivingly a little thicker, a little heavier, a little denser than guys realize. And he does kind of, when he throws the weight around, he can push guys off the puck and play a little bit of that like Timo stylish bully hockey, and I love it. I love Grits. I think he's going to be a special player for this team for a very long time to come. But what else we got? Dawson Mercer, a goal and an assist for 2 points with 5 shots. Dilly, 2 hits. Dougie, 3 shots, a block, and a hit. Shimo Nemitz with the goal and a -4. Absolutely brutal. To score a goal and be a -4. Rough night for Nemo defensively, but like I said, these nights are going to happen, guys. It's not all going to be sunshines and rainbows. There's going to be some times where 21-year-old defensemen look exactly like 21-year-old defensemen, and tonight was one of those nights for Nemo. Unfortunately, 3 shots, 2 blocks. Lukehughes, -3, 4 shots for him, 5 giveaways. He's got to get that down. A lot of people have been complaining about that, obviously. And Markey, 27 saves on 31 shots. That is your game stats in what was a painful one to be at. I mean, and then you get the tease late. I mean, I suppose it's better than just getting smoked, but it sucked. The push came late. It was too late. Then we get to the deserve to win meter, and this thing has been wrong so many times, has had the team that lost being on the overwhelming percentage of the deserve to win meter. But tonight the Flyers had a 40.7% deserve to win according to their calculations, and the Devils at 59.3. But obviously this is just one of those kind of somewhat silly things. And in the end, the Devils, while having a 59.3% share here on the deserve to win meter, they lost. They lost another one to the Flyers, and now the rivalry might be kind of rekindled. I posted on X. If you're not following your boy on X, Twitter, follow your boy. I'm trying to get more involved on there. It helps, with all these things. I'm an old man, but I'm trying to incorporate some new tricks in the bag, get this thing, get the momentum rolling a little bit so I could do some cooler stuff. Again, I have a lot of big plans. I don't know how many of them will ultimately come to fruition as time goes on, but I hope a lot of them happen because a lot of them will be very cool type things for some of you guys. And so appreciate all the support and follow your boy on X. I'm looking for I lost the graphic. I don't know where the hell it is. All my stuff's unorganized here. I'm still panting from my run to the car. It was probably like a good half-mile jog, if I'm being real. I came out on the far end near the practice rink and had to go all the way around the arena, across multiple streets. Yeah, I'm thinking if I clock that, that's at least a 0.5 mile jog. I made some decent time, and then I have to do like the juke steps around people, not run people over. It's a whole thing. Where is my? I'll just put the link in the chat, guys. I mean, that's the easiest, right? That is the easiest. But I did put. I lost my train of thought here. What the hell was I talking about? Something with X. I don't know. I don't know. Bobby, thank you for the super, sir. What's up, Ace? Clearly, Philly just has our number. It just wasn't our night. Our execution wasn't there. Missed on at least 4 grade A opportunities, and the ref does too. Luke and Nemo also had a horrendous night on D. Yeah, I just kind of mentioned that. Growing pains of young defensemen. They're not going to be, they're not going to be stallions every single night at this age. Unfortunately, it's part of the process. It's part of the growing pains. Defensemen take a while to develop. Both these kids came into the league very young, and they're developing in real time at the NHL level, playing big minutes and all types of situations and going against some legitimate superstars on the other side. And you are going to see nights like this, unfortunately. And I'm waiting. I'm sure when I get to the comments and people, that Luke contract was terrible. I can almost predict with 100% accuracy at this point in time. And I can even almost predict what people are going to say it too. This is how robotic the people have come. Following a 3-game winning streak, which obviously followed a 3-game losing streak came before it, but the Devils win 3 in a row, and now I'm sure the sky is falling to many again, and Luke Hughes is awful, and all the nonsense I'm going to read in the comments, and I'm just going to keep saying the same thing. Nemo and Luke are both going to be studs, but guess what? Guess what, guys? On some nights, they are going to look like the overall inexperienced 21 and 22-year-old kids that they are. And tonight was unfortunately one of those nights. On to the next one. It happens. But thank you very much, Bobby. Yeah, they did miss a ton of grade A chances. Obviously, the Bratter breakaway that goes the other way and ends up in the back of the net was a huge kind of, turning point of the game. A lot of missed shots, a lot of juicy rebounds were out there for the taking, in my opinion, that we just couldn't get to the loose puck or we shanked them wide. I mean, we had our opportunities, we had our chances. Unfortunately, it wasn't our night, and it sucks. But thank you very much for the super, Bobby. Okay, so that's what I was saying about X. Follow your boy on X, though. I did drop the link in the chat. That's what I was saying. So I said something on X along the lines of, like, I'm starting to hate Philly all over again. And it's not that I ever stopped hating them, but the rivalry, when they kind of sucked really bad, the rivalry kind of lost its luster. And now, and not that they're a powerhouse now, but now that we just played them twice in a week and there's been this kind of, them just stomping us, I guess, for lack of a better term, I'm starting to get a reinvigorated hatred toward them, because when they were irrelevant, it was like, whatever. But now it's like, you know what? You're kind of throwing a monkey wrench in our plans. Follow me on Instagram as well. That link is in the chat too. But that's what I was talking about with X. I did post something like that online. I'm just, the hatred's getting renewed. Obviously, when I was a kid growing up in the golden era of New Jersey Devils hockey, they had a vicious 1995 Eastern Conference Final Series against them. Stevens and Lindros, one of my all-time just favorite battles. Clash of the Titans. Big Eric Lindros, number 88 of the Flyers, versus just the absolutely assassin Captain Scott Stevens. And they had some epic battles, but that 1995 Eastern Conference Finals is a great one. And then obviously we met up with them again in the 2000 Eastern Conference Finals. Our beloved New Jersey Devils overcoming a 3-1 series deficit to win 3 consecutive games, including Game 7 on the road in Philly, to get to the Cup Finals and win their second Cup in franchise history. What a season that was. But that was like the pinnacle of Devils-Flyers rivalry. And it was still kind of hot for a little bit after that. But then in recent years, that, like everything else, it just kind of fizzles over time. But now I think it's starting to get back. I think it's really starting to pick up again. And I hate them. When is the next time we play them? I meant to look that up. Let me just see. I really wanted a brawl tonight. I thought we might get one, but unfortunately we didn't. There was a couple little, nonsense confrontations. When do we play these scums again? Not in December. Do we play them in January? Oh, wow. We don't see these boys again for a while. April 7th. Back at the Rock. Wow. Pretty much the end of the season, April 7th. I'm circling that one on the calendar. That one should be titled There Will Be Blood. I hope there is. Man, there's so many games I want to see blood. I want to see Carolina bleed. I want to see them bleed. Go to the comments. Alex, don't let up 3 goals that quick. You don't have to worry about the ref sucking. It's true. Another kind of, period where the Devils are just kind of flat a little stale, if you will, and the opposition jumps on us and takes advantage. And when you could bleed goals like that, you could get put out of a game quickly, and it happened to our boys tonight. David says the explanation given is by the book true, and they gave them a makeup call ASAP. Love tap on Timo gets called for a slash. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they made up for it, so that's why I'm not as furious as I would have been. But they did show it right on the scoreboard, and it was clear as day that he got high sticked right in the mouth, and the arena went crazy. Given that the old ref, you suck, ref, you suck. You know, you gotta serenade him. But I don't know why. There's certain replay rules that are kind of ridiculous. Like, he had to be bleeding for you to review it. Like, if you see some sort of sign of physical damage, there should be a way to refer to the video to assess whether it was a high stick or whatever the penalty is or not. I mean, I don't know why. It's all stupid, but hopefully they get all this figured out eventually. Beam me up so they can't assume that, but they can assume Tippett would score from the opposite end. Yeah, that's the rule for the breakaways, unfortunately, with the empty cage, right? But that is funny how you could assume one thing and not the other, even if there was evidence as a fat lip for Luke. It is what it is. It's crazy. Mario, this team forgets how to play defense for about 5 minutes every game, but that's enough for what happened. Yeah. They gave up 3 goals in 26 seconds in Philly. And so, like I said, when they, go through these phases of sleepwalking, other teams smell blood and they ring them up real quick. It's really unfortunate. Brandon says whoever's currently running our power play needs a slap. Okay. Mr. Snowford, my man, that was a tough one, Ace. I really thought we tied up and went in OT. Great meeting you. It was a great night regardless. Yeah, hope you had fun, man. Great meeting you as well. The lounge is always fun. Center ice seats are always fun, right? I mean, this is, the arena, it had its moments. We got teased. It was a really big tease at the end. And unfortunately, we could not get the win. But, man, it's brutal. How I got her, Jeremy Proper. I do. I'm here with other fans of a team I love, not wasting my time trolling a team I don't. Oh, there's some fighting in the comments again. Yeah, we've been getting some trolls. I mean, it comes with the situation here, I guess. The nature of the internets, guys. Not Tasha, what's up? Positive is unlike last season's Devils team. This season's team can come back and push back. Where last season, if we were down by 2 goals, game over. Now we fight and try to come back. Yeah, very true. When we were getting smoked by the Avalanche, was it 4 goals in a row? We were down 5-0 and they scored 4, or maybe we were down 4-0 and they scored 3. I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was 4. I think we were down 5-0 and scored 4 goals pretty quickly, and then eventually lost the game anyway. But either way, the team has shown the ability to claw back, to not roll over and die, and that is encouraging. But you got to gut out some of these wins. But they certainly have shown that resiliency throughout the season, where if they do get down, they can dig deep and come back. That is certainly something we did not see last year, where, like you said, if they were down 2 goals in the third, you're like, it's a wrap. How many are we going to lose by? You could change the channel. I mean, I don't, but I know a lot of people would have checked out at that point last season, and I can't blame them because you already knew the ending of the movie. Oh, no. SST, the Devils lost half the game on the power play and still lost to Philly of all. Oh, spent. Okay. David, Nemo and Luke both awful defensively tonight and cost us. Let Flyers modified trap get in head. Nemo lost patience a lot and got caught up by his Markey on the weak side too. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. It was kids looking like kids. You got to take the good with the bad, and unfortunately tonight was pretty ugly in that department, and hopefully they learn from it. Jeremy Proper, too many breakaways this season. Got to clean that up. Power play is letting us down too often. Yeah. The power play without Jack is a different animal. Hopefully they figure it out, but a lot of passing and, I don't know. I get frustrated, but I do want to see Dougie pretty much a fixture on power play 1. I do think he's our best option at the moment. Pro Bowl team sucked, but Markey's so inconsistent. Yeah. The team is inconsistent as well a lot of the time, but Markey certainly was a little shaky tonight. It is what it is. I was hoping for a solid outing from him where it just was just like, all right, now he's won 3 in a row, but another one that, was not a stellar outing whatsoever at all. It wasn't. I can't really defend it. It was not a good game. He did make a ton of great saves at different points of the game, but yeah, it is frustrating. We've talked about this before, but He'll make some insane saves. He made that crazy glove save towards the end to keep it a 1-goal deficit. But and then there's some that you're like, how did that guy that made those other saves let these goals in? But I don't blame him for this loss. He definitely played a part in it, I would say. But the team was sleeping for huge chunks of the game, caught out of position a ton, and it's just one of those things where I don't know why we can't see just consistency from game to game. But this condensed schedule is pretty brutal. I think it's going to hurt a lot of teams. Obviously, we're not the only team going through it. And now we play Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I mean, it's just nuts. Traveling, did you get any mystery pucks? I did not. Bobby says Markey wasn't great by any means, but he also wasn't terrible. He should have had at least 2 of those goals. I think so as well. Alan, Ace, our power play is beyond terrible. Why does Sheldon have such a problem in changing things up a bit? Putting Cotter Nason out there, Lord knows it's not working this way. I think he's trying to get the normal power play guys kind of in a rhythm, and it hasn't really worked, obviously. Timo's got to be stapled onto that power play 1 unit for eternity. I've talked about, Timo on power play 1 is not even a question in my mind. He should be out there every single power play, no matter what, no questions asked. But maybe you try shaking up some of the other guys. I mean, we've seen Dougie on the back end. We've seen Nemo and Luke together. We've seen some different looks, but maybe it is time to try to shake it up some more. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like at some point they'll start breaking through. But it's been rough because that could have been the difference in a game like tonight for sure. Mario just got home. He's been watching in the car, but what a crowd tonight. My God, we were disappointed. Yeah, it was a very disappointing outing for sure. How I got her, Jeremy Proper, is Nason hurt. He's only playing 10 minutes a game. That's light. Well, Mr. Proper, he is playing on the 4th line. And so that's probably around the range of what you're going to see in terms of minutes for him for a while. Larry, stinker of the game. What's the excuse for so many fans showing up late tonight? It's no wonder the team came out flat and the atmosphere is dead. Well, at least on TV. It wasn't completely dead, but I've talked about the crowd before. I do think there is a lot of room for improvement for the crowd as a whole. I certainly think that there's something to that. Chrissy, this was a tough one. Grab some last-minute tickets in honor of my mom for Hockey Fights Cancer. Too bad we couldn't come away with the win. Yeah. Yeah, it just was not a good performance by this club on home ice, and they now drop to 9-1-1 on the home ice at the Rock. First regulation loss of the season, and I mean, we got to give it up. They were unbeaten in regulation almost until December. I mean, that is pretty unheard of. But they got to figure it out and come out strong in these next games because, as you all know, the standings are insanely tight, and at any moment, you could be getting passed up in the standings. Bonzo says kids can be excused, not Hamilton. Arnold says put Nemo on power play 1 and demote Dougie. I mean, Nemo's getting some power play looks. I don't know that I'm ready to fully hand him the reins yet, but he certainly looks like he is going to be a very good power play quarterback for sure. Love me some Nemo. Eric says not being able to review penalties is BS. League needs to do something. I completely agree. It just doesn't make sense. If they're not sure, they should be able to review it. Billy says, Ace, is Colorado beatable? Beat down on my Habs. Yeah, it's going to take a lot, man. They are built to contend for quite some time. And again, when they got Blackwood, I was like, oh my God, this guy went from the poorhouse to the penthouse. It couldn't have been a bigger come up than it was for Mackenzie Blackwood. He goes from the Sharks to Colorado, and then he gets the contract as well. He got a nice extension, I believe. And so he's definitely going to win a cup there, in my opinion. I said it the day he was traded, I think. Like, they're going to win a cup. I mean, you don't have McKinnon, McCarr, Landy, all these guys and not win. And they are going to be beatable, but it's not going to be easy. I think they are going to probably steamroll at least to the conference finals. And depending on who they meet up with there, maybe, it'll be a little bit longer of a series. But I'm rooting for, as I've been saying, a rematch of the 2001 Stanley Cup Finals, the New Jersey Devils versus the Colorado Avalanche, running it back 25 years later, a 2001 rematch 25 years later in the year 2026. Wouldn't we love to see it? Wouldn't we love to get some redemption for the Ray Bork and Mission 16W and all the Avalanche propaganda that was rammed down our throats from the national media? That series will sting forever, and I would love to try to, get some payback on them, but we're certainly a far, far, far ways away from that. But yeah, Colorado's beatable, but they are damn good. Certainly good. Bobby says we need to trade for a legit sniper. I don't know if that's going to be in the cards. I would love to see it, obviously. Zach Bozos will say Markstrom should have had that awarded goal. Defense was a no-show tonight. Each goal against might as well have been a 1-versus-1. Just a pathetic showing from the boys tonight. Got to be better Monday. Samuel says this type of night does happen. 21-year-old D-men and blind 121-year-old officials. Yeah, it certainly didn't help. So you called it about Luke in the comments. You know it's coming. I mean, it's just so predictable. Certain things are just so predictable. It's just like clockwork. Nick says just play Allen. I mean, they're not going to play him every game, and they certainly weren't going to play him on the second game of a back-to-back when he had 42 shots against last night. You knew it was going to happen, that Markey was going to be out there. Larry, this truncated season, 4 games and 6 nights will affect younger players more than seasoned vets. Kind of looking like that, right? I mean, young guys playing a lot of minutes, and not every night's going to be a good one. It sucks, but I was waiting for a Dilly fight to turn the tide, as was I. Trade Cotter for Sherwood. We are cup contenders immediately. They're not taking that deal. You think Vancouver's going to take Cotter for Sherwood? You're crazy. I want Sherwood, though. People have been chirping me on X about that, too, which I think is psychotic. But I can't argue with people that don't know anything. And apparently X is flooded with people that are clueless but talk like they know. They're like, hey, shooting at a 30-something%, whatever, that's not sustainable. And I'm like, I don't even care about the goal production. That's just that's just icing on the cake. The man led the league in hits last season, and he's number 2 in the league in hits right now. And he can score a little bit. Sign me up. Heavier, edgier, more violent. Justin says, Luke is going to be a great defenseman in the NHL for a long time. He just had a bad night tonight. It happens. He is only 22. Don't talk sensibly, Justin. These people want to doom and tell you how bad he is. They're here to tell you how absolutely terrible he is. Devil Dog says, Ace, I miss classy failure fans throwing smoke bombs onto the ice at our team. When did that happen? Not Tasha says, I obviously want Kyrou, but Sherwood is way cheaper. Fitch should call Van and see if he can swap Cotter from him. That's not a realistic trade. Don't bite on whoever wrote that. I don't even remember who wrote that a couple minutes ago. This is not realistic whatsoever. Eric says Sherwood 150 more hits than the next guy last year. Yeah, I think it's the current. It hasn't been tracked forever. It's a fairly new stat, but I do think it is the all-time single-season hit record, I believe, was last year. John Fay, now the top three teams, Devils, Kings, Flyers, are now separated by 1 to 2 points. So this just got a lot more interesting. You guys like to obsess over the standings like minute by minute. I mean, obviously I look at it, but you know, the teams are going to move up and down several times throughout the season. It's only November 29th. We have a long ways to go. I know it is exciting when you're like, oh, we're first in the East or we're first in the league, when that was going on for a little while. But yeah, I mean, the conference is super tight. There's going to be teams jockeying for position the entire way. Turk, Ace, how was your 10 cups of ice cream tonight? It wasn't 10, man. It was like, I think it was 7. There's like shot glasses, though. It sounds a lot worse than it is. John NJ Devils, love Mercer picking Ziegler's pocket on that goal. Yeah, of course, but it went in a losing effort, so it loses a lot of its luster gets lost, unfortunately. But that Mercer goal was absolutely electric. Absolutely electric. True Patriot, power play 2 unit is a problem. Will Nason never score again? He was hacking away down. I forget what period it was. He was getting some chops at a loose puck, and I thought he was going to do something, but I don't know. He could still be hurt. Or like I said, unfortunately, some guys are never the same when they come back from a big injury. And maybe we're just going to see a slightly, different version of Nason than what we saw last season. I hope not, but it's a real possibility when guys have these serious injuries. You never know if they're going to ever look the same. And that could be the case. That could be the case. We will find out as the season progresses, but he was out of the game for what? 6 months? No camp. And so we'll see. Hopefully he looks more like the guy we saw last year. He was just such a beast down low last year in front of the net, just tipping shots and just finishing in all kinds of ways, power play goals. Hopefully we see that junkyard dog come back soon. Or maybe he's going to kind of reinvent himself as this fourth line guy. We're going to find out. All of this will be figured out as the season unfolds. The power play hasn't looked dangerous at all. You are correct. It's looked kind of sad, honestly. Now, Tosh says we have tickets to the next Philly game. I'm pumped. It's so far away, though. John Fay, what power play? I see no power in our power play. It's powerless at the moment. It is. Power play not crisp, too slow. Who are you guys yelling at here? Yeah, I'm trying my best, guys. Some of these comments are hilarious. I can't put them up here, but they're funny. Roland, Ace, I know you love Markey, but it's now 13 of 15 starts this year where he has allowed 3+ goals. I just don't understand why Fitz had to be so urgent to extend him. We may lose Dawes, good stats, because of it. No, I mean, listen, this is one that I'm going to constantly keep saying the same thing. Until we see way more, it's too early to say it was a bad signing, but I certainly can understand why people are kind of harping on the fact that Fitz should have waited before doing it. And I think it is a fair point because he was injured last season. He came back. He looked a little shaky early on, got injured again. And so everyone was like, what was the rush to sign him? And I certainly can understand why people think that way and why people are going to continually probably reiterate that point until the end of time. But kind of twofold. One, I do think that perhaps, again, this is just purely a hypothesis from me. I have no, anything other than me just kind of guessing out loud, right? But it could have been something where the team thought that perhaps the looming contract situation was weighing on Markey and affecting his play in some way. And they thought, okay, if we get this deal done now, maybe it will kind of soothe him, calm him down a little bit. Now he knows he's here for however long. He could really plant his roots and whatever else, and hopefully continue on and play much better without this kind of looming over his head. That's just kind of something I've wondered out loud. Could that play a part of it? And the other part, I think, is that in a lot of cases, I think teams may make deals where they are hoping to build goodwill either with a player or a group of players and kind of hope that it pans out. And it's kind of hard to describe exactly what I'm trying to say here. But, I just think that taking everything into consideration, they're like, let's just get this done now. Hopefully he settles in and it ends up being a good deal for us. But and then the other part of it is I obviously believe that they looked at kind of the tandem price of Markey and Allen at Allen's 1.8 plus Markey 6 at the 7.8 for the two of them. Pretty decent cap hit, especially in today's cap era. And so they said, screw it. We don't want to have to be bothered. We know this is our core, our tandem going forward, and that's it. But I certainly understand why lots of people are saying this, and we're going to continue to hear it until, either somehow Markstrom is not here or he just plays lights out. But I get it. It's one of those things that's going to be constantly brought up, and it's sort of a fair question. Why was there a rush to do it? And I can only speculate what I just did, if that makes any sense to you guys. Nolan, can't be too harsh on Markey. 2 goals should not have happened. First goal of the game was a sloppy one, and then it was an obvious interference call. Nothing from the shit refs. Yeah, it's bad. The officiating's so bad. Roland says signing Nemitz to a bridge would be a nightmare. If we get Quinn and Ryan O'Reilly in the fold, Nemitz would be a huge offer sheet target from other teams. Roland, you think we're getting Quinn and Ryan O'Reilly? Oh, God. I wish I could be as delusional as some of you guys. Really, Quinn and Ryan. Oof, what a season that would be. Natasha, Timo is carrying our power play right now. Him and Brader, who's been driving play, and then Timo burying. Love Timo. Absolutely love Timo. I don't know why this person keeps saying Jack to the Flyers. Devil Heaven says, all good. Wake up tomorrow. Jake the Snake between the pipes. SST said, no one is going to offer sheet Nemitz. It would cost 4 first-round picks. I don't think he would be at that level. Let's see. No, you're wrong. You're certainly wrong, sir. You are wrong again, SST. Please hold. It wouldn't be 4 first-round picks. Come on, man. It would not be, but now we'll have to pull this up here. Bear with me 1 second. Bum, 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 bum. All right, so we're talking offer sheets. The offer sheet levels are as such. So for it to be 4 first-round picks, someone would have to be offer sheeted an AAV of almost $12 million. Clearly not going to happen. Then you see the next tier down is 2 firsts, a second, and a third. That's at $9.36 million to $11.7. There is a very good chance that a Nemitz offer sheet would fall somewhere in this third tier, which would be $7 million to $9.36 million. And the compensation there is a first round, a second round, and a third round. And I am certainly here to tell you that there would be 31 NHL teams. If you put Shimo Nemitz up on the market for a first, a second, and a third, I believe every other team in the league would willingly give that package for Nemitz. A first, a second, and a third at that salary range. No brainer. I mean, maybe not all 30, maybe not all the other 31 teams, but maybe, 28. There might be a couple that won't, they'll be like, we're good. But 28 to 30 teams would certainly be interested. And so SST is wrong again. The 4 first-round picks is obviously a wild exaggeration. But let me see here. MAF 500 against division opponents so far. Not going to be a long playoff run unless they turn that around. Yeah, I just want to see this team find ways to win games and hopefully turn it up when we get healthy. I hate to keep talking about it, but you are not looking at the true New Jersey Devils. This is not the 25-26 New Jersey Devils. This is a version of them, but we are without Pesce, without Kovacevic, without Jack. I'm hoping Zach McEwen, the forgotten about, I hope he is a mainstay on the fourth line. Cheers to you guys. And so I do think this team will go through kind of a few revampings along the way before the playoffs. All right, I fell way behind. I got to catch up here. Jeremy Proper, Ace, aside from Jack, who will turn the tide when they return? Hopefully Pesce. Pesce is going to make the defense a lot better, in my opinion. So, is it going to have a dramatic impact on the offense that looked sleepy for stretches? I don't know, but certainly an improvement. And looking forward to his return. But obviously Jack is the big piece that's been plucked out of the lineup due to the Chicago cut incident, the incident of 2025. Ben Jammin, why is it our 30 played game after game for years? And decades later, goalies need rest. What has changed? The analytics nerds. That's what's changed. The game is so different now that you couldn't possibly play those same amount of games. And obviously Marty is an extreme outlier, right? I mean, what a workhorse. Marty's the absolute GOAT, guys. My God, how good this guy was, how special he was for so many years. Ridiculous puck handler. So good at negating teams dumping the puck in and his firing passes up the ice, off the glass that they put in that stupid trapezoid. Literally made a rule to negate his puck handling skills. But Marty was not only so good, he was so durable and was able to play so many games. He started like 70 plus games, 77, 76. He had some games, 75. I mean, tons of seasons with over 70 starts. And he demanded the net and, he was a workhorse. They don't make him like Marty anymore. And there is usually, I think last year I looked it up. I think there was like 5 goalies that played 60 games. 60 games is considered a ton nowadays to get 60 starts. But all these, sports analytics, sports science, the analytics department, they all have kind of moved de-emphasized the goaltending position to some extent to where we see these tandems and you see lots of guys in the high 40s or low 50s and then the other guy getting, mid 30s to high 20s and starts. Obviously, I don't like it. I'm an old school guy. I almost like every single thing about the old league better, including seeing dominant goalies play a lot. But that's not where we are now, unfortunately. It is what it is. Gleason, why do you care if someone leads the league in hits? You don't pay assets for hits. It's not hard to be a hitter. It's a choice to hit over playing defense. I don't even know what you're talking about, my guy. But no one's talking about, well, what kind of assets are you talking about? A second-round pick for Sherwood? First of all, I think it came out that, Vancouver's looking for way more than that anyway. So, but the point is, if you don't see the value in a guy like Sherwood for a second-round pick, then I don't want to waste my time having a conversation with you, personally. Yeah. Peems, where are you doing at 22? Oh, boy. I've said something similar to that before. Yeah. Certainly not playing at the highest level in a professional sports league. Jason knows that the Luke Nemitz pair shouldn't be a thing. It kind of has that. It has that either, it works out awesome and then miraculous, or it bombs hard and you're like, what a devastation. I don't know that I want to see them together forever from now. But it is an exciting thing to think about them as a pair, when they're maybe a little more mature and well-rounded in their roles. But, once Pesce comes back, that's going to be an interesting one. Do they keep them together? Do they put Luke back with Pesce? What's going to happen when Kovacevic comes back? So I have no idea what they're thinking in terms of what the, long-term pairs will be. But it's kind of boom or bust right now, in my opinion, with the Nemo Luke Hughes pairing. You're going to see some amazing stuff, and you're also going to see some stuff that makes you say things like what you're saying. That shouldn't be a thing. So Eric says Rutherford wants a first. Yeah, I had people chirping me on X, right? Now, I saw a report, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, maybe I forget when, but that maybe a second rounder would get it done. I immediately quote tweeted it or whatever you call it, and I was like, if they would let go of Sherwood for a second, I make that trade tomorrow. And all these idiots start chirping me, this and that, about how I'm stupid and how the guy's overachieving and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, he makes nothing. And you're talking about a second-round pick for a guy that has a little scoring touch and is going to go out there and smash people. Sign me up. And yeah, and obviously, I don't know what more evidence I need that it's a second rounder is not even going to make it happen. Now he wants a first. So obviously a second rounder was the good deal that I was telling everyone it was. I can't fight with the uneducated anymore on the subject matter, but it is painful because there's tons of people on the Twitter that think they know what they're talking about, and they're the dumbest people alive. Natasha, it was SST who said Cotter for Sherwood. Yeah, ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Plus a package. Obviously, I do Cotter for Sherwood. Larry agreed. Sherwood has speed plus big enough to park his ass in front of the net. That's something we need. Nicole, Ace, you told us. Yeah. I told Nicole, I did tell her that we would win the game 4-2, and I was completely wrong. I am so sorry, Nicole. I hope you forgive me. It was one of those things that my intuition was completely wrong, and it was a painful game. But I hope you had a good time at least, or at least had moments of good times at this one. Yeah, they want a first-round pick for Sherwood. I know. It's just the second-round pick would have been great. Not in the cards. I didn't think it was. It seemed too good to be true. Tasha says, I'm guilty of obsessing over the standings. A lot of people are. Oh, Jeremy Proper, thank you for bringing this up. I meant to bring this up on my own accord. Former New Jersey Devil Kyle Palmieri gets in a little bit of a collision, whatever it is. He goes into the boards weird. Ends up getting mangled, and you see he's visibly hurt. He's down for a little bit. He gets up. He's limping. He's in just a complete disarray. As he's limping to the bench, was it they were playing the Flyers, I think? A Flyer guy's coming up. Palmieri comes up from behind him, picks his pocket, and whips the puck across the ice to another Islander and gets an assist. Sets up a goal while he's hobbling to the bench. He's getting dragged and helped down the tunnel as the goal horn is still blaring. He literally makes the pass and gets off the ice. The Islanders score, and he's coming down the tunnel like he got shot. And today it comes out that he tore his ACL. This man went crashing into the boards, tore his ACL, and while hobbling to get off the ice, steals the puck from a Flyer and gets an assist. I mean, absolute warrior shit. Kyle Palmieri, you legend. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It's one of the crazier things I've ever seen. And it's the most hockey clip I've ever seen. It's just a clip that personifies hockey, in my opinion. If it's you want to know what hockey's about, boom, here it is. It's a beautiful play. It sucks for Palmieri that he's going to be out for, I don't know, maybe the rest of the season. I didn't see what the prognosis or what was for that, but hopefully he recovers and comes back. Always a good guy, Palmieri. Jersey boy as well. The cups, Faye, are very small, though, if I'm being real. The cups are the cups are very small. They're like little shot glasses. I have a trick, but I can't give all my secrets away. But I probably had 7 of them, but they're not even, I don't know, in ounces. I don't know how you'd even, they're minuscule. They're the smaller than the smallest kitty cup you've ever seen in your life. If I gave one of these to my little nephew, he'd be like, what the hell is this? Where's the rest of it? And he doesn't eat a lot. So they're like shot glasses of ice cream. David Chimes, here's the positives. Grits did everything right tonight. Maniac play driver who'd be on pace for 60 if we were more offensive-minded, 5-on-5, and put on power play 1, defensively strong, high IQ everywhere. I love Grits. I talked about him briefly before. He wins a lot of battles. He doesn't give up. I think he'll go to the dirty areas. He'll push guys around. I am a huge grits guy. And I think the sky's the limit for him. It's going to be exciting to watch him mature and kind of come into the star that I think he's going to be. Don't judge me. Tasha was 7. Nicole, ice cream was approved. Don't give the secrets away. That's classified information, Nicole. Yeah, Jace, no, crazy play by Palmieri. If you haven't seen it, look it up. I don't have the link handy, and I don't feel like digging for it right now. But I'm sure if you put in Palmieri, it's gonna be the first thing that comes up. I mean, it was just last night, and it's absolutely insane. The cups are small, guys. They're small cups. Roland, if playoffs started tomorrow, are you going with a rotation tandem or riding Allen all the way? I don't know. I can't answer that right at the moment. If it started tomorrow, I don't know. I'd probably do a rotation of some kind. I'm thinking about this. I hate rotations, honestly, especially for playoffs. I would not want to do it. Gun to my head, if I had to say tomorrow, I'm starting Allen, and if he has a shaky game, then I throw Markey in. If it started tomorrow and I had to pick. And you guys know I'm a Markey guy, but just in the end, it just seems, the game just seems much more under control and, whatever you want to call it, not as chaotic when Allen's in there. And so obviously I have to go Allen. If he has a shaky start, maybe I go to Markey, but that's kind of where I'm at the moment. But obviously the playoffs are months away. Crazy Alex, it's crazy how close the standings are right now. Yeah, I showed the stat the other night. They showed on MSG heading into Thanksgiving Eve. It was the closest, the least amount of points from first place to last place, like in years. Khaki, Lindy Ruff and his lads just rebounded here in St. Paul, beating our Wild in a shootout. I'm actually kind of glad for him after last night's whooping by the Devils. Buffalo on a back-to-back too, huh? It's interesting. Wait, so are you a Wild fan, Khaki? And if so, how did you end up here? I'm very curious. I'm very curious how fans of other teams randomly end up here. I like to know. It's all kind of research. Gleason, Markey had a neutral game. Not going to help his stats, but that's what happens to goalies sometimes. You can face 40 shots that help the stats or 4 shots that are worse than 40 shots. Okay. SST, Miles Wood was good, got traded. Boquist was good, got traded. Instead, we have, dude, like this. SST, you realize like shit like this is why no one likes you, man. It's baffling to me that you could perpetually try to play the victim and be like, oh, everybody picks on me. And mine is it because of a statement like, what? Who the hell's talking about Miles Wood right now? Who's talking about Boquist? I mean, where do you even come up? Do you pre-plan these random comments you're gonna? I have no time for this. I'm moving on. Natasha, we've got the whole league in this Devils chat. Oh, have we grown? Devil Dog, they had both teams skid around like warm-ups to dissipate the smoke. Wait, are you talking about in the beginning of the game? What is this about? Did I miss a comment earlier? When the Devils came out for warm-ups, was it warm-ups or for the game? I forget when. At some point, it looked like the arena was on fire. I asked my buddy, I was like, dude, is this place on fire? I've never seen smoke like that. Nicole said the refs destroyed my dreams of violence tonight. I had so many dreams of violence, Nicole. It was not in the cards. I really was dreaming about it, though, as well. I really wanted to see that scrap. And I was thinking it was going to be Dilly. It's not the power play. It's just the man advantage. I'm trying to catch up here, folks. Bear with me. David said, one of the few times I disagree with you, Ace's marquee contract. Blackwood younger, makes less, similar stats last season, similar injury history, and is in a prime, fits as a coward on youth. Well, I mean, but Blackwood's been gone for a while, so I don't understand what you mean. And I'm not saying the contract is good. I'm just saying you can't call it good or bad yet. That's all. That is all. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying too early to call, and I understand somewhat the logic I think that the team was operating with when they did it. Now, in a perfect world, would they have waited? I would say yes. I agree with that notion. I would have as well, but there could be other things at play here that we don't really know about. And like I said, maybe the team thought it was affecting him with this thing looming over his head. Some high quality H2O right there. Poland Spring, what it means to be from Maine. And so I'm not sure what you disagree with specifically, but I've maintained the whole time it is certainly a fair question for people to say, what was the rush? He was hurt and blah, blah, blah. I totally get it. I can't tell you that kind of line of questioning or logic is out of touch, because it's not. It's a fair question that lots of people have asked and will continue to ask going forward. The timing of it certainly seemed a little odd, for sure. Guys talking about Lindros. Some Lindros chatter in here. True Page says, Ace, why are you even entertaining these crazy deals when these nut jobs talk about? I mean, some of the things people throw out there are crazy. Crazy Alex, I hope Nemo stays with us. I do too. David, Nemo worth more than offer sheet unless a tank team that picks in top 5 guaranteed makes the offer. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, or in the unlikely event that somehow it was that top tier and it's 4 firsts, which, wouldn't really excite me other than the idea of what could you turn 4 firsts into? Hopefully not drafting with it, but I think this is all kind of where I think we're in the weeds and way off track here. I don't think that's happening at all. And I do think it would be in one of the lower tiers. So I'm not really worried about that. Gleason says, I honestly don't even know how we afford Nemitz without a trade. Too much money going to an offensive defenseman who can't shoot or hit or play in the zone, play in zone defense or stay on his feet. There's tons of paths to free up money. SST, you want to tell me that in 3 years Nemitz would be at $12 million? I don't know about 12, but I mean, if he gets, well, let's see something. I'll put it this way. If he gets 60 points, what do you think he's going to get? I'm curious what you think. If he gets 60 points, SST, if he gets 60 points, what would the comps on that contract be for 60 points at his age? Cons Eclipse, thoughts on that filthy Mercer goal? I mean, ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Beautiful goal. I said it in the moment, and I will maintain it. It is certainly in the running for goal of the season thus far on the Devils season. And I do think when it's all said and done, at the end of the year, it will still be in the running. It was that beautiful. It's going to definitely be in the conversation. It must be. I mean, just all the little cutback, little jukes, and didn't even get everything he wanted to on the shot. He fanned on it a little bit, but it still finds the back of the net. And, I think it's one of the prettiest goals of the season. And there's been a bunch this year. Jack had a couple beautiful ones as well. There's been so many nice goals, actually, for the Devils, but that one was huge. People fighting in the comments. Garrett says, yo, fella, when are you going to drop some victory drinks, pint glasses? I actually have soon. I'm working on so much stuff, guys. I'm only one guy. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to do so much stuff. I have people trying to suffocate me. I have haters. I have people trying to suppress me. I got a lot of things going on, but I'm trying to get a lot done. That's certainly something that's I've been thinking about, but there's a couple things that have to happen before that, but soon, Garrett. SST, in 3 years of bridge, Nemitz would be at $12 million on his next contract, so who's wrong? I don't even, what are you even talking about? SST, sit down, guy. You're about to get banned again. Again. I have no time for your nonsense. You're wrong. Shh. Ryan, hey, Ace. What's your trade deadline prediction for the Devils? Any player or moves you think we will? I hate to say it. All right, so you that we would realistically trade for. What's your honest prediction? My honest prediction is that we make a move that most people are not going to be happy with because it won't be a huge name. If I had to predict, I think it would be kind of a lower level 3rd/4th line center so that we have another center in the mix. And it would be nice if it was someone that was good enough to force Glass to 4C, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking definitely a center would be my prediction. I think it'll be slightly underwhelming, but I think it'll be someone that could hopefully help. That's all I could really, and I hope I'm wrong with this, but it would require a lot of different things for anything substantial to be added. And so I think it's just going to be kind of a center depth piece if I had to predict. Beachmaster says credit to Fitz for Brown. Absolutely. That was one of the better signings in a while. The Cutgate scandal. Nolan, what's Pesci's ETA for his return? We know Jack is hopefully before New Year's, if not January. Where did you come up with that? Jack, the 8 weeks from when they said the 8 weeks would put him at mid-January, I believe. So let's just call Jack mid-January. I think Pesci is probably late December, early January. He said weeks, plural. And that kind of lines up with everything we've kind of heard up till this point. Devil Dog says Marty, 70+ starts almost every year. Complete beast. Complete beast. M Sharp, don't you love 4 lines that are bangers? They tenderize opponents so well you have to give them extra minutes. Yeah, I would love McEwen on our as a stake. Dude, how do I keep falling this far behind? Damn it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying. I want a 4th line that smashes people. Give me a poor man's version of the crash line any day. Natasha, obviously players we should push for and get. Fitz will sit back in his chair and sip booze and do nothing at the deadline once again. We'll see. I think he does something. Don't have a ton of cap space, obviously. What's going on? A Russo. Ryan, trade deadline prediction. Who do you think will trade? Oh, I just said that. I think I just answered that. The man from Jers. Hey, Ace, were you at the game? I could swear they showed you on the Jumbotron. I was at the game, but I don't know. I don't think I was on the Jumbotron, but maybe I was and didn't see it. It's interesting. Oh, man. Sherwood and Cotter on the same line would be forechecking beasts. It'd be crazy. Oh, Sherwood and Cotter. Man, that would have some real potential. What does this even mean? Sherwood isn't coming for a 2nd-round pick, so it's right to be weary of trading for him. He's not that level of a player. It's just great that he's cheap. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? They want more than a 2nd-round pick. Chase, no, this is why we need on this team. It's been too many years of these sleepy games. I agree. The agitator who's going to mix it up, bring the energy and stir shit up. Would love to see it. Would love to see it. Someone who's going to go out there and make something happen and get the team fired up. Devil Heaven says Sherwood for second round plus not too cheap. 1.5 million a year. 1.5 million a year is very cheap. Devil Heaven Ace, what's our next roster moves? I wish I could tell you. I wish I knew. Hopefully it's to get a center of some kind to help the center depth. Preferably a legitimate 3C would be nice. But I'll take any improvements. But everyone was going crazy that there were someone posted there was a Canucks scout at the game tonight. And it's not uncommon for there to be lots of scouts from all different types of team, tons of teams at every NHL game, essentially. But, when it was revealed that there was a Canucks scout at the game, the speculation and rumor mill and whatever else you want to call it obviously ran wild with, the Quinn Hughes is not going to go away until he's traded. I mean, it just seems like now it's every day there's more and more coming out about it, and it's just not dying down. It just seems to be getting louder with each passing day. Most people on Twitter are dumb. Completely agree. I forget who used to say that, but David says he's a great forechecker and has some depth level scoring ability. Heart player. Watch the Canucks. Ask Canucks fans. A late first is not a crazy price considering his cap hit is bupkis. Tell him, David. Tell him. I would if you wouldn't like a guy like Sherwood on this team. I just don't know what to tell you. I said I wanted him for a second. Now you start talking about it first, a different story. That's a whole different conversation. All I'm saying is that when I saw the tweet online that said something about supposedly they want a second rounder for him, I just quote tweeted it and was like, I would do a second rounder for him without thinking about it. And that was it. And then all the idiots started chirping me. David, late first round picks are not much more valuable than second round picks. Only a little expensive, but his cap hit is low enough that someone might bite. Not saying it would be us, but I wouldn't rant. Damn, Palm was out 6 to 8 months. Brutal. Nancy says our first round pick should be worthless. You'd like to hope that they're super late first rounders. Just watch the clip and saying, yeah, Palmieri, Warrior. Natasha, yeah, they're small ice creams. I could have probably ate more, but I had to just, shut it down and be like, all right, this is ridiculous now. I mean, how many of these are we going to eat? We could go on all night. Tasha says Vancouver's going to retool, rebuild. How do we collect all the stray fans from random teams? I don't know. I'm curious how everyone gets here. Natasha, I don't know why people say Saliva is untouchable. I'd trade him in a package for a big name player like Tuck in a second, as would I. I've talked about Tuck before. I'd rather go to someone similar in nature, maybe to Tuck, that has term left on their deal with a nice cap hit in place. Tuck is going to want insane money. He's going to want insane money. So I'm definitely more interested in getting someone who has years left on their deal. But I like the idea. He's certainly not an untouchable in my book. Jason said they're not touching Yegorov, though, and he's having a down year. Yeah, no, he's my favorite prospect. Larry, okay, Ace, if you were the head coach and all of our D-men are healthy, who do you have sitting? That's why I think there's going to be a trade. I just don't see how, a couple months ago, I would have told you it would be Nemo. But how are you going to sit Nemo now? The kid's on an absolute tear. I firmly believe it would have been Nemo, like no doubt. But at this point, it can't be. But they're going to put Kovacevic back in. And so what are your options? And for all these reasons, because they need to free up money, because they need the spot on D, specifically right D, I think Dougie's going to get traded. That just seems like the logical way that they fix this. I'm not happy with it, but I think that's what happens. Bobby, thank you for the super. Obviously, we weren't going to go undefeated at home. I really just want some consistency amongst this team. Is that too much to ask, or am I unrealistic? Oh, Bobby. It's not too much to ask for, but unfortunately with this team, they've been consistently inconsistent. And I think until we get closer to full health, that is kind of going to be the MO of this team. You're going to see some nights where you're like, this team is amazing. And then there's going to be some nights where you're like, oh my God, this team is terrible. And then everything in between those range of emotions. And so it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster, I think, until we get these guys back. Specifically, I'm talking Jack. We need Jack back really bad. And when he comes back, hopefully it doesn't take him long to get back up to speed. And then hopefully they figure out line combinations that can find some chemistry for the long term. And then this team could get back to the top level, that they're capable of. I do think with Jack in the lineup and Pesci back, I still think this team can really be dangerous. I really do. But they're going to have to figure out some things along the way. And there's going to be nights that are painful, I think. I think that's just the unfortunate reality, is that we're going to see some nights like, last night against Buffalo, where like, damn, this team looks great. And we just smashed them. And then tonight where you're like, where are those guys we saw last night? So buckle up. But I believe in this club. And when they're healthy, it should be a very nice kind of ramp up to the playoffs. It's 2008 Devils at Flyers when the trash fans threw a smoke bomb onto the ice and interrupted the game. It landed by Brodeur's net. I don't remember that. Jason said, I'm surprised how many Buffalo fans don't want to give Tuck a big contract. Yeah, but isn't the rumor like 11, 12 million? What's up? Welcome back, Mario. Jeremy Proper, Holtz 0 points and not played in 5 games or so. Bobby Boucher, Wonder Boy. Man. Tasha, I got to go to bed. Day in the city for me tomorrow. Good night. Good night. Sook, I think the Devils absolutely ruined Holtz's confidence. I mean, that's a terrible excuse, I think. Oh, boy, the internet. Gotta love the internet. Suk, I hate to say it, but Nemitz rightfully would deserve north of $9 million just by virtue of what Lukey boy is making. I do think that is going to, I think if he has the season that it seems like he's going to have, that his agent is going to ask for, at a minimum, for a long-term deal, the same deal Luke got. And I don't see how you tell him that that's unrealistic. It's going to be interesting. I hope it doesn't get dragged out, but I'm thinking it probably will. I don't know. David, what's up, Ace? Really annoyed here. I get we were down 4-1, but never have I seen the refs award a player an empty net goal from their own blue line with 2 Devils around them. Yeah, it's kind of shitty, but the refs were definitely not our friend tonight. So many people talking about Blackwood when it's Wedgwood that's playing as the Avs top goalie. Yeah, the two of them, I'm curious to see how that pans out or plays out going into the playoffs. For some reason, I still think it could be Blackwood, but I could see Wedgwood taking the spot. But I think they're both going to get their fair share of starts in the regular season. And a former Devils tandem, a tandem of former Devils looking to win a cup. It's crazy all these years later. I mean, Wedgwood, my God, it seemed like, when did he come into the league, actually? It is so crazy that they rebuilt their whole tandem in the same season. They're like, let's get these guys out of here and get some new goalies. We had 208 and 920. Oh my God. Yeah, both of their numbers are insane. True Patriot Nemitz will make high 9s when the time comes. Kid is developing nicely. Put muscle on and is developing a strong hockey IQ. You don't find D-men like that at pick 2 and not get paid. Yeah, I think he's going to definitely get paid. And, who knows? That could be part of the rationale why he may be dealt. I hope not, but I could definitely see that being a part of it. Gleason, there's no such thing as a bridge deal anymore, really. You got to pay up right away. I mean, some guys do the bridge deal, but it just seems like it is going to become less and less, in my opinion. Guys want to get paid and be guaranteed, right? Unless they're firmly, all about, like, I'm betting on myself kind of thing. But, like, I don't know. It just seems like everyone wants to get that long-term deal to secure that money. And just one box. The Devils didn't ruin Holtz. He is lacking in everything except for a shot. Can't skate, play D, or pass. BMW line stomps ever bottom line this team could put out nowadays. I don't know about that. I think a Cotter. I know BMW was a good line, but I do think a line with Cotter and McEwen could really be. I don't know who the third guy would be. I'm trying to think about that right now, but they could be a wrecking ball crew. Doesn't matter how many times you ban them, will never lead. Justin Smith says, I missed the crash line. So do I. So do I. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The interview with Mike Peluso. I've showed this before, but I'll show it again because you mentioned it. It's like when you say Candyman. The Crashers. I can't see what you could see here, but crash line signed by all three. Got to find a spot on the wall. It's not going to make it in the studio shot, I don't think. Especially because I kind of tightened up the frame, but it'll be somewhere in the studio off camera. And I gotta ignore some of these people. I know, Justin. I got to. True Patriot wore my team on number 96 jersey that I'll continue to represent. Very nice. That's going to be a rare one day. Who has the original Timo 96? And I have his helmet, his game-worn helmet from that season and the playoffs with the 96 on it. I think it was it's the home one. Yeah, it was the one he was wearing when Trouba crushed him, actually. Jeremy Proper, Merce Dog, $4 million man, first to 10 goals. Where the haters not named Jack? Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Jay Snow Marty was like a D-man with the puck. Yep, third defenseman back there. All the defensemen that played with him over the years. All the Danos and the Whiteys, everyone who played him just talked about how sick Marty was at playing the puck, made their jobs easier, prolonged their careers. Gotta love Marty, the greatest to ever do it. And there's just so many clips. I forget. I meant to post it in here. Someone posted a couple the other day. I forget where I saw it. I think it was on X of Marty. It was like a little montage of Marty just making great puck handling plays. He's just ridiculous. He was just so ridiculous. The smoothest to ever do it. Me and my longtime Devil buddies text regularly and just talk about random things from the glory days. It's crazy that it's what keeps us going nowadays. All these years later. Ryan H., 2011-12 David Clarkson would be nice. For sure it would. Loved Clarkie. Clarkie was such a fun player to watch, especially during that run. That goal in Philly when he was on top of the net. I mean, so many great moments. SST, if Running allowed me to call in, I'd tell everyone how in simple 3 trades, I'll turn this team to a contender level. Oh, you had your chance, my friend. And then you made up all kinds of excuses. True Patriot, why was there a Canuck scout at the game? So just so people realize, at every single NHL game, there typically is a ton of scouts from other teams. That's just kind of how it works. You know, a scout from another team will be there and they'll be watching the game and making notes on maybe a few guys on each team or whatever it is that they're looking at. But obviously, when you hear Vancouver in the building at the Devils game, everyone's ears is going to perk up a little bit and the spidey sense is going to go off and everyone's like, oh my God, oh my God. And, you know, it's just one of those things, in my opinion, where you have to believe to some extent where there's smoke, there's fire. And the Quinn Hughes thing is not going away. And it just seems to be getting louder. So do the Devils pull a deal at some point in the somewhat near future to get Quinn Hughes here? Or do they use the Devils as a kind of ploy to try to drive up the price on another team who's going to take the chance of losing him in free agency in that, 2027 summer? Stay tuned to find out how the saga of Quinn Hughes plays out. It's certainly going to be interesting to see. Cody says, should we consider trading Markstrom or should we look elsewhere for center depth? Markstrom is not going to get traded. He has a no trade, no move, whatever the hell he's got. He's not going anywhere. Khaki, Ace, I'm a 73-year-old granny, lifelong Minnesota resident and North Star Wild fan. I started watching the Devils to follow Halla. Then I found you. I never miss a game of your lives. You're a gem, Ace. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do vaguely, I think I remember you saying this, a granny in Minnesota. So, yeah, I remember you writing this maybe a few months back. Thank you for watching. And I'm trying to think. Do I have any? I guess, yeah, my favorite North Star, Mike Modano. I mean, how could it not be? Mike Modano is just such an American hockey icon. Love some Mikey Mo. But thank you for watching. I'm glad you remember that, Unhinged. SST chickened out of the opportunity to call it. Thank you. This is some more bubblegum gangster fake-ish. I would call in, but you had your chance, Bubba. You had your chance. And now you're talking about I would have called in. Oh, I'm glad someone else remembers too. Oh, man, he's getting drowned in the comments. I love all you people. Drown him. Drown him. Justin Smith, SST, please stop. John Fay, would you really call in, though? Because you said that last year and never called in. Yeah. How long before this chat is 99% SST burner accounts all having a conversation with each other? Gleason, the thing this team lacks the least is an offensive defenseman. Completely agree. I don't get how Quinn is the goal if he's not a Hughes brother. What goes out can't hurt the team just to increase an area of strength. And this is kind of my biggest point, Gleason. My buddy that I've been arguing with, he's super jacked up about the Quinn Hughes stuff. And obviously, if we got Quinn Hughes, I'd be happy, right? I mean, how can you not? Probably second best defenseman in the league, top 5 to 10 player league wide across all positions. But if you're being real, exactly to your point, and this is what I keep telling him, if he was not a Hughes brother, you're not waking up one day as an executive in the Devils organization and being like, you know what, guys? I've been analyzing this team, and I've been analyzing this roster. And you know what we're missing? You know what's going to make us a true blue cup contender? An offensive defenseman. No one would say that. I completely agree with you, Gleason, which is why it's hard for me personally, to wrap my head around parting with the types of assets and pieces that are being rumored rampantly across social media and whatever other media you want to, whether it's, blogs and videos and whatever. It's hard for me to wrap my head around that because it's like some of these packages include pretty good young pieces for a piece coming back that, to not discredit him in any way. He is a phenomenal player. He's going to probably go down as one of the all-time, potentially high on the list of offensive defensemen, but it's a position that I feel there is no need. Like, I'm very happy with our defense, as is when healthy, obviously. Very happy with the defense. And so that is a great point that you make, and I agree wholeheartedly, which is why it's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around it. What type of forward could we get with those same pieces? Nancy, at this point, our first rounder should be viewed as trade chips, nothing more. We are in win now mode, the draft picks. I'm with you. I'm with you for sure. I have no interest in drafting with any first rounders for quite some time. Meadowlander, Ace, please give Peluso our best and convince him to come out here and do an appearance. It would be cool if I could get him to do that. We'll see. Runnin says his SST opinion, and the mimes in here just regurgitate the propaganda endlessly. It's embarrassing. What's embarrassing is how obvious it is that you are SST and you're still playing the charade. That's what's embarrassing. NJ Swampbox, Palmieri played for St. Peter's Prep for 2 years before joining the national program, took the team to the state finals and scored Prep's only goal in a 2-1 loss to an undefeated St. Augustine team. Okay. Very nice. Devil Dog says Ace's channel comes up as a suggestion under YouTube live suggestions. If you check live, there's a bunch of other teams, YouTubers doing the same thing that Ace is doing. Wait, what's that in reference to? The man from Jers 201, Ace, have you or would you ever be open to meeting some of your viewers at a game in the near future? I think it'd be super cool and would take the community to the next level. Yeah, I actually meet people at games all the time. I don't plan it or whatever. It just happens naturally. Because I go to a lot of games, and obviously a lot of the people here go to games, and so I meet them in that way. I have been racking my brain, because this comes up every so often, to try to think of some sort of cool either event or live experience or outing. I am still trying to figure it out. And hopefully soon. I mean, yeah, the shit just happens so fast. It's like, yeah, wow, we're already, it's about to be December, and before we know it, it's going to be January. I am going to have to figure this out very soon. But stay tuned. I'm trying to figure out if it would be maybe a thing before a game or if it'd be a thing that included the game. I'm going to do something soon, I think. I don't know the scale of it or anything like that, but I will certainly talk about it in a live soon. Doc and Chico clip is on YouTube. It's fan throws stink bomb on ice during Flyers Devils game. Okay. I'm going to have to check that out later. VEHKD. Yeah, we win or lose, we booze. You already know. Win or lose, we booze. Right off the top. Tonight, we're drinking loser beverages. It happens sometimes. David says, probably going to turn heads with this comment, but Nemitz could be our Quinn. We don't need to trade for him. I'm going to say this is where I think it's a little wild. I think Nemitz is going to be a great player in this league, but Quinn is, completely insane. The kid won a Norris when he was like 20 some odd years old. He's a different stratosphere, in my opinion. Now, does that ever translate to series wins and cup wins and all these things? Obviously, there's no way for us to know that. But Quinn is a next level player. There's just a lot of things that go into the whole situation for me personally that I have a hard time with. Like someone, I forget whose name it was a couple seconds ago, pointed out like an offensive defenseman is not what you look at this team and go, oh yeah, we need an offensive defenseman. On another hand, it's like, okay, well, that might not have been a need, but when a guy this good comes along and you have a path to get him and you're the front runner to get him because he is brothers with, the brother of two of the guys we have on the team, maybe you do look into it pretty hard. Like this is the path of least resistance to land a legit superstar in his prime. When is the next time there's going to be a superstar in this league that wants to come to the Devils? It may not happen for years and years. Larry, I think Fitzy continues on his path of least resistance and trades Kovacevic first. He'll have to go to a contending Canadian team to pass on his no movement clause. It's interesting. It's an interesting theory. Imagine a Jake Allen, Akira Schmid tandem right now. Man, you guys know I love Schmid. Franchise legend on this channel for life. David says, remember last year, Ace made a live stream the whole day on trade deadline day, and there was basically nothing. He was so bummed it's going to be the same again this year because Fitz gets stage fright. I hope any substantial moves or whatever moves they're going to make happen well before deadline day, in my opinion. With the Jack injury, I think the time is now. We'll see how it plays out. I'm not expecting anything too big, but we'll see. Jay Snow, if Fitz doesn't make a big move at the deadline, then he should be fired. What are we doing then with the core if we're not going to go all in? Yeah, the time to win is now. I've been saying this since 22-23. All these other teams eventually go all in on a cup run. 8 to 10 scouts tonight. Yeah, maybe Fitzy's getting really active in these markets and these conversations are happening and other teams are in town to check out the goods that are the goods that are available. Who are you putting on the table? Oh, boy. KNTV, I'm still going to represent my Devils, supporting the Devils from Tampa. Very nice. Shout out to Ybor City. Been down there many times in my youth. Great times in Tampa and Ybor. CLW, my lucky Nico shirt is now in the laundry basket, and my 8-ball was wrong. It happens, Sherry. It happens, unfortunately, but hopefully they get back in the win column soon. Hey, Russo, 68 likes. Come on, guys. We're not cheap Rags fans. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. John Fay, 9-1-1 on home ice. I'll take it. Still one of the best records in the league, home ice wise. Yeah, it's insanely good. Hey, Russo, Luke needs a stay-at-home defenseman with him to let him cook. I think that's part of why, he looked very good with Brett Pesce. Pesce is just a very, very crafty, wise veteran defenseman who, frees up Luke to maybe play a little bit looser. Mikey Madonna. Oh, yeah, SST. I'm terrified. Terrified of you. Jason, no, I don't want to turn into the Leafs full of talent, but can't make a deep run. I'm afraid Fitz isn't the right guy to build this roster the right way. Again, another fair question that time will tell. I do think we're not going to see many, just because of cap situation, you're not going to see a ton of moves. And so what is the, if they're able to free up some money, what is the one or two, maybe two smaller or one slightly larger, what is that move going to look like? And who's it going to be? What position are they going to target? I'm hoping it's 3C. But, a lot of people I think are expecting like a flurry of moves, and I just can't see it happening. John F. RIP to Clayton Keller's father. Feel for that kid. Thoughts are with him. What the hell happened there? Oh, man. His father passed away unexpectedly. That's terrible. I'm at use now. A forwarder would be the number one thing. But like I said before, when you have a guy at that level that wants to play for your team, regardless of whether it's a need or not, like, maybe I think you have to take a look at it. It'd be irresponsible not to. KNTV behind the scenes. The NJ Devils account is getting bombarded by Rags fans who clearly want attention. What account are you referring to? Richard, I know he's great. I know he's going to be here, but if we didn't get him, it would not bother me. Small guys get hurt when the real hockey starts. Richard, how's your buddy that you tried to tell me earlier this afternoon that he heard or he saw, whatever it was, that he heard Allen was a net and that I was full of it, I believe you said. What happened to that, buddy? Did you ever text him back and tell him he's an idiot? I'm curious to know. True Patriot, great point on Quinn movement. Addition by subtraction may not be the case there. True Patriot Ace thoughts on Brown, Cotter, Glass line. Did not like the effort tonight, just not enough out of them. Yeah, not a whole lot going on there. There was a couple plays where I was like, oh, Brown looks like he's battling. I remember Cotter fanning, and I think it was in the slot, and he had a good opportunity for a one-timer, and he kind of fanned on it. But other than that, I would say pretty quiet night for them. Yeah, I mean, listen, the whole team was asleep for huge portions of the game. You know, I don't know. This is the second game of a back-to-back obviously has been a problematic item or area for the Devils in recent years. They have won a couple of them, I believe, earlier this year, but who knows? But now it's time to get back to work. Monday against Columbus. What team are we going to see? The team that we saw thump Buffalo, or the team that struggled against the Flyers and lost the game tonight? Ben Jamin, Mike Peluso's the man. Had a beer with him at Aldo's in Lyndhurst. A great, great dude. That's awesome. Yeah, Peluso's the man. If you haven't seen the interview, check that out on the channel. It's under the interviews tab. Hit that like button for Ace. Thanks. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. True Patriot says running with the Devils cornhole at playoff game in the quad before a game. That could be maybe interesting. Although, what the hell is the quad? Try the Spike Aid drinks. Where is that? Cody Skills, hit that like button for Ace. By the way, where do you think the Devils will place by March? I think they'll finish top 2 in the Metro. But that's hopefully that Jack returns sooner than later. Sherry, CLW, my son Drew and I and my hubs Tom at Ace tonight. Ace, did you try the orange chicken? It was really good. Oh, I ate a lot of that zesty orange chicken. A little bit different than I suspected, but it was still pretty good. The pork tenderloin was decent. I ate a good amount of that. And then I obviously did tons of damage on the arena side with the chicken tenders, the sliders, the fries, the hot dogs. Man, it's a very dangerous proposition when I go in there. It's just very, very bad. What do we got here? But great meeting you guys. I hope you still had some fun despite the painful loss. Cody Skills, if you're Fitz, who will you trade for right now, and what will you send? I think the most intriguing and sensible thing that I've heard rumored or any sort of speculation on was O'Reilly. I would send whatever within reason that it takes to get him. I think that certainly helps this team a lot to be able to put him at 3C and push Glass to 4C. And if we get him sooner than later while Jack is still injured, we can then probably make him 2C and put Mercer back on wing. Or at least you have the option to look at that if you want. Hey, Russo, when Covey comes back, who is getting traded because of the money? I think it's going to be Dougie, unfortunately. I'm a big Dougie guy, but I think he's, to free up the spot and the money, I just think it's going to be too tempting for Fitz not to do it. True Patriots is punching out. Good night. Good night, sir. Jason, our defense play has been worrying me, even the wins lately. Too much D-zone time and way too many high dangers given up. Feel like they were due for a clunker. Yeah, sometimes we get super just bogged down and pinned in our own end. We're like, what are you doing? It looks like we're shorthanded. It's got to improve. Jason says Dougie's probably going to get moved. I agree with you. Yeah, I just think it's too tempting. Frees up the money, frees up the spot on the right side. Richard says, I never said or wrote you were full of it. That's why I asked you the question. I told my buddy he was full of it. Now I'm just busting your chops. But I mean, it's just pretty common sense. Like, there was no way, knowing how these people operate, there was no way that they were going to put Jake Allen back out there back-to-back games coming off of 42 saves. Now, I did say last night, if I was in charge, which obviously I'm not, I'm just here talking to you folks on a YouTube channel, but if I was in charge, I would have went to Jake Allen and been like, Jake, you good to play tomorrow, dog? And if he was like, yes, I would say, or I would have waited till today, actually, not ask him last night. But today, in the mid-afternoon, like, Jake, you good to go? And if he said yes, right back in. And who knows if that would have made a difference. It may not have at all. But, you know, I like riding the hot hand, especially in net. And you guys know I'm a marquee guy. I love Markey. I love Jake Allen too, but I'm a marquee guy. But when Jake plays a game like he played last night, you got to reward that. Just knows that even the Buffalo game wasn't great. That was the most shots they had all year. Yeah, they were shooting from everywhere. KNTV hoping the team is more healthy next year. Do you mean calendar year or season? Suk, I know the cap exists and it's tough, but there are other actual dead weights to be shed. There's lots of ways to free up money if one is willing to be creative and really try to make it happen. John Fay, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, I think Allen would get the job done. He was coming off a 42-save shutout. Who knows what he would have done if he was in net? Yeah, the stats and the analytics will tell them never to do it or allow it. I would roll the dice because I'm a wild man. And I grew up on Marty and watching a guy play 77, 78 games, 75 starts, back-to-backs, complete animal. Anyone who tried to tell Marty he wasn't playing, he probably laughed at them and was like, I'm sorry. What did you say? He was like, I'm not playing. I certainly think I'm playing. And what a legendary career. I mean, wow. To be around the team and be at games and just to be everywhere at practice and all the things while Marty was just absolutely dominant NHL career. KNTV, the Penguins almost shocked me this season. The Devils game against them was honestly good. That went to a shootout, right? Jason said, Ace, what happened? You need glasses. How come? Am I squinting? I don't know. The way the light is angled, it's like crushing me in the eyes. I think I moved a couple things around and I'm, I don't know. It's hitting my eyes weird. And I also haven't slept a lot recently. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just falling apart entirely. It's all falling apart at once. Breaking down in my old age. Damn it. I wish we won tonight. Would have been this whole experience is so much more fun after a win. Man. John Fay, go with the hot goalie, even if it's back-to-back, to see if they're capable of being able to play to win both games. Luke did get high stick. They just missed it. Yeah, they missed it. Sheldon Keefe was told by the officials that because Luke was not bleeding, they could not review the play. They could not review the play because he was not bleeding. And so even though he had a fat lip in the moment after eating a high stick, it wasn't enough for them to review it. So they missed it. But then they kind of got a makeup call very short time after because I guess the refs probably, like the crowd does matter a little bit. And they showed it on the scoreboard. And clearly he was high sticked right in the face and the arena went crazy. And I'm sure they may have looked up and saw it too. So they were like, oh, we messed up here. And, and then we got a power play shortly thereafter. Cody. Yo, Ace, do you think our team practices with Brodeur and net for one time? No, man. Marty hasn't put on pads in years. Goalie pads, that is. Mark, what deadline moves do you like for us? I'd like a 3C. I would like a guy like O'Reilly. If somehow they could get retention and maybe something else, I don't know exactly what. I'm intrigued by Kadri. I'm certainly intrigued by Stamkos, despite people flaming me for it. If Palat is included in that deal and Nashville can retain some money, I'd be interested in a little package deal for Stammer and O'Reilly. Would be amazing. It's probably completely unrealistic, as I said the other night, but. John Fay, if I'm not mistaken, I think last season or a few seasons ago, we played either Schmid or Vanacek on a back-to-back and won both games, but I'm not sure. Lindy did it a couple times. I think Lindy did it a couple times, and then I think one time it backfired badly. And then, of course, he was asked oh, why did you go to him back-to-back? But I will never, ever question a coach or somebody who tries to ride the hot hand and it doesn't work out, because that's just the philosophy that I believe in. But on the flip side, people could be like, oh, if you say you started Jake Allen tonight and the Devils lost, they'd be like, well, Jake Allen was great last night, but he had 42 saves. Don't you think you're overworking him a little bit? Why would you go back to him again tonight? And so it's kind of like a lose-lose in some of these scenarios. Suk, you should buy some strip lights to put around the room. Can choose a color and choose brightness. There's still the studio's still always a work in progress. I'm still trying to figure it all out. No matter what, there's going to have to be light kind of in my eyes if I want it to look a certain way. Dun, dun, dun. Anyone have anything else? I've been on here for a while. Oh, man, I wanted to win this game so badly. I really, really did, guys. They called it a goal because Grits just kind of tripped him up a little bit. Justin Smith says good night. John Fay, I think it was because the attacking player had the puck and had a clear open lane. Pretty much. Yeah, I always want to see Arlette too, Sherry. Arlette is just all-time legend. Did you see Glass hobbling off the ice? At one point I did. But I think he may have blocked a shot or something, and I was like, oh no. But I think it was just like a little stinger or something. He was back out there and didn't seem too impaired, but it looked bad in the moment. I was like, damn. It's like, tell me this guy just broke his foot or something. I was when I saw him hobbling, I was like, oh shit. That'd be insane. Has anyone been hurt 3 separate times before December? That would be psychotic. If he got hurt again, I may have just ended it all myself, and I would have just went on the concourse and just ended it all. I mean, this is just a third injury. All right, I'm using the bathroom, and then we'll start winding this down. Anyone have any comments, questions? I like the suggestions when you guys put ones that are like, that aren't complete nonsense. Any suggestions you got? And I'll start winding it down. Quick bathroom break, and then we'll start wrapping this thing up. I appreciate you all for coming out. And yeah, give me some good suggestions. I like the suggestions. Be right back. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. or less, maybe. All right. Yeah, that was the stats. 20 hits apiece. Someone referenced that. Yeah, 20 hits, very physical. Glass was stretching when he got in the box after hobbling. He was smiling. Yeah. Like to see that. I don't like that idea at all. Get curtain lights for your back. Oh, curtain lights. I just saw curtains. I still need the front light though. You're not gonna. There's no way around the front light. This is all part of the game. I feel like if Jack didn't get hurt, he was on pace to have a monster year. Yeah, he was electric, man. He really was. To start the season, I thought we were finally going to see him play a ton of games, get 100 points, maybe have a crack at 50 goals, and it all went to hell. The curse, the injury curse of the New Jersey Devils. SST, go to sleep already. Didn't you say it was 5 a.m. for you or something? Yeah. Yeah, no, we're still here. What's going on, Evan? Tough loss tonight, but not too mad about it. A back-to-back is always tough to sweep. Yeah, but I really wanted it. I really, really wanted it. Really wanted to win. A 4-game win streak would have been nice. Would have been nice. I know he does. I know for a fact that he does not live in the States. It's confirmed. That's not a debate. No, he's definitely not my neighbor. He's definitely not my neighbor, and he definitely lives overseas, guys. Anything else? Closing time. December schedule is brutal. Yeah. This next stretch is going to be a good test too. Sheesh. We got a stretch coming up at the Rock. We won a back-to-back earlier in the year. It may have been during the 8-game winning streak. Let's just look at that real quick. Yep. We beat Toronto on the road on October 21st, 5-2, and then we won the Nico Dawes only start of the season, October 22nd at the Rock, a 4-1 win over the Wild. Nico Dawes in net. That was a back-to-back that we won. That was our first back-to-back. Yeah, won them both. This is our second back-to-back. So we're 1-1 so far in the second game of a back-to-back. 1-1 in game 2 of back-to-backs on the season. I mean, it could be worse. John Fay, if SST was Ace's neighbor, hell would break loose. Literally hell. Now we lost the season series. He said, how did he send you a postcard? No, he was gifted a hat. He was gifted a heavier, edgier, more violent hat by Traveling Devil. And it was, in fact, shipped overseas. And I'll never forget it because I had to fill out a bunch of annoying customs paperworks and such. So it's true. It definitely is the Sook. I think playing good teams consistently will help the team play a bit better, to be fair. Well, hopefully it plays out that way. That would be great if that was, oh my God, you guys just blew it up here. That would be a nice kind of byproduct of playing a tougher schedule. I certainly would be thrilled if that happens. Maria, what's up? I'm ready for Columbus. Done with filthy. The purple kind of looks good on you, Ace. Thank you, Maria. Is purple my new color? I mean, I typically only wear this the one time a year. I do like this jersey. I typically only wear it to the Hockey Fights Cancer game. The one time a year I dust this old thing off. But purple. I never, purple is a color for me, Maria. You think? I don't know that I have too many other purple items. Gotta think about that now. Do I have any purple items? Husky and Chain, any info on McEwen will be back? We could really use him. I don't think anytime soon. Like from when he got re-injured, they were like, it's going to be a while. And so for them to say that, I would imagine you're talking like, maybe sometime in January if we're lucky. But who knows? They're very hush-hush on all this. Jason, no, I really like McEwen. Haven't heard anything. Yeah, completely agree. Don't we have another back-to-back coming up? Yeah. Just we're home Friday against the Golden Knights and then Saturday at Boston. So the next back to a week from right now is the second game of a back-to-back on the season. Frank, what's up? What's up, Ace? Just got back from a Bama bash. Caught some Devils too, just checking in and heading back out. Tough game tonight. Yeah, it was a tough one. Tough one for sure. They gave us a little tease late, but it was too little too late. And unfortunately, it was not in the cards for the boys. Faye, wow, just peeking at the standings now. The entire Metro is separated by 5 points. My God, this division really is one of the hardest working divisions in the league and the best. Yeah, and one that everyone thought coming into it may have been one of the worst. Here we are. Sid the Kid looking to make the playoffs again. It's crazy. That's too much work to send SST a hat. Why can't you wear a purple, Maria? Everyone could wear purple. Ryan, the Hockey Fights Cancer jersey will always remind me of Brian Boyle's goal when he came back. Yeah, that was a very, very touching moment. CLW, I was hobbling to fractured metatarsal in my left foot. Didn't wear the walking boot, paying the price. We got to do better. Damn. Hopefully you feel better. I never had a fractured metatarsal, but it definitely sounds painful. Cody, thoughts on Yegorov? I saw him live tonight, only allowed 1 goal on 29 shots. How did he look? He looked good the couple games. I watched a bunch of games last year. I saw him live once. Looked good. I heard, and have seen BU is struggling a little bit this year, not playing so soundly in front of him, and his personal stats have taken a beating as a result. Got to get through December. Faye, I feel like if the league did a divisional tournament or something, the Metro wins it all. I don't know how that would work necessarily. But all right, folks, it's all over. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate all of you. Our beloved New Jersey Devils drop a painful one. Losing by a score of 5-3 to the Philadelphia Flyers at the Rock. We did not get payback. And they got our number right now. Man, I hate the Flyers. My hatred is being renewed or kind of re-elevated. It was maybe dormant for a little bit. Always hated them, but it wasn't as passionate of a hate as it was back in the heyday. But now that hate is being stoked. And yeah, it just sucks. I wanted to be on a 4-game winning streak, but it is what it is. This team hopefully looks much better on Monday against Columbus for Brendan Dillon's 1,000th game. Certainly look forward to that. Love Dilly. And that's it, guys. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out. I'm working on a bunch of stuff. Always got things on the back burner, trying to make things happen. And we'll see, guys. I really wanted to have victory drinks tonight, but it was loser beverages for us. And on to the next one. Back soon, Monday. The schedule gets crazy, guys. Buckle up. I mean, we have 4 games next week. Monday at home against Columbus. Wednesday at home against the Stars. Friday at home against the Golden Knights. And then Saturday at Boston. Would you look at that? And just like that, this schedule is coming. Games flying up. How is this team going to respond? Would love to see them win 2 of the next 3 at home. Would love to win all 3, but win 2 of the 3. But we'll see how it all goes. We will see how it all goes. But I'm tired now. Going to get some rest. It was a long night. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.